Greetings, fellow Californians. My name is Everyman America.
And my name is Joe Radical, and we're here today to talk about California's Proposition 8.
So I support California's Proposition 8, which will establish that marriage is legally defined in the state of California as between a man and a woman.
And I am firmly against Prop 8.
I say yes on Prop 8 because it protects the family and preserves freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and parents' rights to decide when and what their kids should be taught about sexual orientation. Why are you against Prop 8?
It's all about equality, or should I say inequality. Homosexuals are denied equal rights under the law. They're not able to vote, they can't hold property, and they can't use public restrooms.
Actually, Joe, that's not true. Homosexuals have exactly the same right as every other American, including the right to vote, hold property, and use a public restroom.
Well, maybe they have the same rights, but it's more about equality and treatment of those rights. Homosexuals have always had to sit at the back of the bus, use different drinking fountains than straight people, and use a different public restroom.
That's not true either, Joe. Homosexuals have never had to do any of those things. And besides, Prop 8 is about marriage, so I'm still missing why Prop 8 is about equality or equal rights.
Oh, wait, I know why it's about equality. It's that a homosexual partnership has unequal rights to a man-woman marriage.
Well, in some states that may be true, but in the state of California, a homosexual partnership has basically the same rights as a man-woman partnership.
Oh, no, you're sadly mistaken, not even close.
All right, name one significant right that homosexual partnerships in California can't have.
Well, unlike heterosexual partners, homosexual partners in California are denied the rights of shared property.
Actually, that's not true, Joe. Homosexual partners in California are allowed full shared property rights.
Well, gay partners aren't allowed to visit their partner in the hospital.
Again, that's untrue, Joe. Homosexual partners have full visitation rights.
Taxes?
Same as married couples in California.
Joint insurance policies?
Same.
And Prop 8 doesn't take away any of those rights?
That's right. Prop 8 doesn't take away any of California's domestic partnership rights. It only protects families and free speech by making sure that the definition of the word marriage is between a man and a woman.
Ah, there it is. It's called something different. It's called a domestic partnership instead of a marriage.
I think it's called something different because it is something different.
Oh yeah? How is it different? I bet you can't name a single difference.
Are you serious?
Yep, name one difference.
Well, for starters, most man-woman partnerships can create a biological child together, while no same-sex relationship could ever result in a biological child.
Humph, we'll fix that someday.
I don't think you can fix that.
Well, while we're working on it, it's inequality to call the partnership something else, even if all the other rights are the same.
You know, just because something is called something different, it doesn't mean that the applicable legal rights are unequal.
Come on, everyman. You know that if something is called something different, it's treated differently. I mean, when women gained the right to vote, they started calling themselves men, so that they would be treated exactly the same as men. And when African Americans were allowed into the same schools as whites and wanted to be treated the same as whites, they started calling themselves whites.
You sure on that?
Well, okay, so far, women are still called women, and African Americans are still called African Americans. But they should be called the same thing. Just think, wouldn't the world be better if everyone was called a white man, regardless of their gender or race? Just the same as if domestic partnerships were called the same thing as marriage. Then all the problems would go away.
Yeah, you're kind of losing me on this naming thing, Joe.
Yep, total naming equality would be everyone and everything called exactly the same thing. No more separate but equal. Then only white men would marry other white men. You know, we call it that even if it's, whatever race or gender is getting married. If it ain't the same name, it ain't the same.
All right, well, we've established that Prop 8 doesn't take civil rights from homosexuals who are treated equally by the California law, even in their partnerships. And as Joe Radical has pointed out, the only thing unequal is basically the name.
If it ain't the same name, it ain't the same. Only white men should marry other white men. No on 8. Come on, white man, who's with me?
And to all you men and women of all races who believe that for whatever reason it's still possible and important to maintain some naming distinction, even if you're still fighting for equal rights, then please vote yes on Prop 8.
Equal names.
Next time we'll talk a little bit more about the real legal issues at stake if Prop 8 doesn't pass, such as the cost of freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the rights of parents.
Hey, that's no fair talking about these issues in detail. All I've got are these emotionally charged arguments that sound good but have no real substance if examined. I'm out of here.
Well, to the rest of you, please get informed and get involved, and vote yes on Prop 8. And remember, the family is the building block of society, and it's worth fighting for.
This will be our battle cry. Let's shout it loud till it hits the sky. The family is the building block of society, and it's worth fighting for. The family is the building block of society, and it's worth fighting for. The family is the building block of society.